Welcome back, guys. Welcome back with another video with Linksy. Today we're going to be doing the ultimate siege defense for Skaven. It's going to be a guide on how to defend the settlement, exploiting the AI as much as possible, and using a few new exploits which I have never seen before used that I kind of noticed yesterday during the live stream. Tested it out and it kind of worked again. It's not reliable, it's not 100%, but let's say it's 80% of the time it works, and you do have a number of Menace Billows to use it. It works with using Menace Billows and the War Bomb itself. That said, let's see how I settled up this settlement. This is a tier 5 settlement, the Black Crag. It's being assaulted by 4 armies which are going to show up all at the same time, because we have the Border Princes over here, Karakherm, and we have Clan Angren. So Clan Angren is bringing a Doomstack. Border Prince is bringing quite a decent army, not that strong but quite decent. And the Karakherm are just bringing trash. And our biggest problem is we cannot slow them down unless we use the exploit. I set up my army in this manner. I start with my cheapest, weakest unit, the Gutterline Slingers on this side. They're really just extra units manning the top 4 towers. I put also the Rat Ogres down this way, as they are quite fast in case one of the AI decides to come to these towers. I find it easier to hold the gates like this. Again, this is not necessary for this specific fight, but keep in mind that in the future you might need. If you do another siege, it's always good to have some units over here, as they like to destroy this section of the fort wall or this gate itself. And then over on here I have the Poison Wind Globadiers, 3 of them in this case. Sometimes you have 4, sometimes you have 2. I use them to power these 4 towers. Now there is also a small glitch that sometimes means that these towers are interconnected, and when you lose one, you lose it somewhere else. So keep in mind, it's good to keep them powered all at the same time. And lastly, I leave 2 Plague Monks up here and some Storm Vermin, and if you have Plague Monk Sensor Bears, in this case they will defend this area, as oftentimes if you do it right there will be only 1 ladder up on the walls and not even a siege tower. Finally, I leave these to the warriors and heroes that I have in this corner, mostly because the Warlock Engineer can have a really good arc of fire, and it keeps them able to control the flow of battle. Now, with that said, let's get started. Our objective is to stop the enemies in their tracks, essentially completely stopping the enemies in their tracks and blowing up the siege towers, giving our rattling missiles, which are the most powerful defensive tool in the game, to do their magic. So straight off the bat, these guys should fire properly, but I need to try and get this guy to fire over here. This guy fires there, that guy fired there, now you fire on this side. And you fire on this side. As you can see, the armies are coming in. We're gonna let this army come in the middle of these 2 towers, so essentially somewhere around there is when we're gonna block it. And with regards to this, we're gonna block as much as we can. Now, where is the siege? That is the siege equipment, and we're gonna blow it up. They're gonna try and blow us up, but we should be fine. You blow that, and you blow this, and these towers should collapse essentially while we're breaking that down. Now, once this starts, your walls are pretty much safe against anything. They're still coming in slowly. I'd rather keep them at bay as long as possible. Not because they pose any sort of threat, they are simply minors. Mostly because they are such a difficult unit to... there's too much of them, you know. Like, if there's too much of something, it's bad. The mortars over there are dying. As you can see, these guys are collapsing all over the clan rats we summoned. And theoretically speaking, it should work that any unit that is engaged on the clan rats gets stopped in its track and they stop moving. It has worked a number of times, and hopefully it works again. I also use this opportunity to get a creamy, juicy, cheesy explosion, as there's so many units, might as well blow everything up. And we can cast that down, and that's it. All of those units should be stopped in their tracks and they should stop moving. Now, if that doesn't work, because sometimes it doesn't, you've still done a lot of damage, and what you do is you try again with another Menace Below. In this case, they are moving into range, and these guys kept moving. I've tested it 3 times. 3 times it worked. As in, I fought this battle 3 times, and all 3 times it worked. But in this case, it seems not to be working. No problem. Okay, some of them are actually stopping, some of them are going back. So it's absolutely fine. The trick is not to trigger them again if you summon another unit. As in, not hit the same units. But these guys seem to be moving into their own location and standing there. The claners over here have broken and are running around, getting targeted by a number of them. But the moment these guys get off the battlefield, it should be fine. Now, let's try and block them and see how it happens. Handgunners are getting shot down. As you can see, the forces are really not taking that much damage, our defensive forces. And our walls are doing a tremendous amount. Now, if we look where they are in our range. Summon that thing over there. And essentially, these guys ran off. And these guys seem to have not blinked an eyelid. So, we'll leave it as is. I'm not going to use a war bomb on these guys. But last time I did this, they stopped. And I hope they stopped because I will have to re-record this. And figure out what I did wrong. As I said, it's not 100% that they stop. But oftentimes they do tend to stop in their tracks and not move. The amount of times it happened. Really? This one time it's happening? Summon that. As I said, there's only one ladder over here. Yeah, I'm really pissed about this because I've genuinely tested it a number of times. And it works every single time. Just it seems this one time it decided to do its own thing. Okay, just start aiming at the clumps of units with the rattling missiles and you should be able to kill them anyway. They're blowing this shit up and that's fine. At least they're all running back with the exception of the hammers. The hammers never stopped, so that's also good. The iron breakers are stuck in position. Yep, there you go. They're stuck in position. They're just waiting there. This is what I meant. Doesn't always work, but then they just get stuck there and once those guys disintegrate, they'll stop moving, which is fantastic. Just takes a while to do. Did these guys stop moving as well? Let's summon that there one more time. Yeah, that's it. That's all they're doing. They're getting stuck in there. Now I have a 15-minute timer left because in the campaign when I was fighting this, I did my absolute best to cheese and try and survive as long as possible. Of course, timer ran out, but they lost all their armies, as you see from my campaign, which I'm continuing tonight. Anyway, their army stopped over there. It's a bit finicky, but as you can see, it works. Stopping that army with those giant slayers, those iron breakers and really strong units is going to be really important. Blow these guys up, and that is essentially the siege done. There's nothing else that is much of a threat, and these guys are taking their sweet time coming up. Now, you can use the light warp lightning on those great swords over there, and slowly these guys will start dying. They broke through the gate over here, so essentially once they break through the gate, send the troops there and send the rat ogres just blocking the gate. Rat ogres are really good against generals and great swords and the such, and these guys will do the rest of the damage. Fortunately, the gate broke down, but that's absolutely fine. Yeah, these guys froze in as well with that warp bomb. It takes a little bit of time, it doesn't work 100%, but if you try it long enough, you're essentially freezing the units and getting them stuck in. For a second I thought I blew it up, but as you can see, they're not moving in their army and we're killing in the rest. Apart from two really juicy war bombs over here, we still have another war bomb going on. These guys are still moving a little bit because they're losing a lot of troops, but I wouldn't really want to re-trigger this from getting in on the attack as it's not really worth it. Now what you could do is you could launch a war bomb here and kill this unit of greatswords if you ever so wish to. Okay, let's just blow that up. But really and truly, there's not much that they can really do. Now, as you can see, this is something I'm not sure if I was doing in this recording, but these guys are linked together, and these two fort towers are also linked together. So sometimes it's these two, sometimes it's these two, but it always seems to be this one and one of these three over here. This army is getting ripped apart. The iron breakers are dying. If you aim at the giant slayers, and kill the giant slayers first, you're going to have better chance of them breaking and running off the field, since the giant slayers are the unbreakable units. The miners are coming in slowly, but really and truly this is just yeah, you know, not that many losses, and frankly having a good time. Okay, go kill that. I'm actually gonna need you to come here and deal with this, because there are a few too many great swords. Okay, it seems the great swords broke, the generals died, and these guys are dying as well. Kill the giant slayers, because they're the threat. Rattling missiles kill everything, and they start sending in one unit at a time at that point, but really and truly it doesn't matter. You can trigger them again if you set in a unit or attack them with anything else, but at this point it doesn't really make sense. The trick is that I found it only works with Menace Belows. If you send in a unit or a Vermintide unit summoned from a Plague Priest, it did not work. But yeah, these guys broke, and these guys broke, and those guys are on the verge of breaking as they're getting bombed to hell and back. Bombard the cannons over there, the hammers are coming in. They're breaking as well, and GG. That is the toughest siege in the game that everyone told me I was gonna lose, done with very few losses. Quite pleased with myself for this one. But yeah, I hope you guys will be able to battle. So we see the kills. As you can see, we didn't really kill that much by our army. We used, I mean, these guys did a lot of damage, as you can see, but most of the damage was done by the rattling missiles and the war bombs. As you can see, their armies are here. They're very, very strong armies. I mean, this is a really strong army. Giant slayers with triple gold chevrons and iron breakers with triple silver chevrons in an AI army on legendary is absolutely incredible. This was on legendary difficulty, by the way. Hopefully it's a good guide on how you guys can defend Skaven settlements in the future. Of course, the trick works as well with lower tiered settlements. As long as you have Menace Belows, you're gonna be fine. Menace Belows stop the units from moving in siege battles. Hopefully you'll get lucky and trigger it immediately. In this round I got a little bit unlucky, so it took a while to trigger properly, but of course there are a variety of ways to get that triggered. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you find this guide useful. It's a guide slash cheese thing. If you do, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you around. I live stream every day at around 9 PM Central European time. Sometimes it's a bit later, sometimes it's a bit earlier, but there's a way to know. You can always join my Discord. You can always message me on Discord or Twitter. Links in the description below, and feel free to be part of the family. Guys, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!